You wake up, drink green tea, and knock out 100 sit-ups. But when you step in front of the mirror, the belly hasn't moved. Your arms and legs might be getting thinner. You skip rice at night and try every trick in the book, yet that tire around your waist remains exactly where it is. Traditional weight loss methods fail because that stubborn belly is a biological warning sign of a much deeper problem. Human biology utilizes two main types of fat. Subcutaneous fat sits right under your skin. You can pinch it. It keeps you warm and stores energy, but poses no risk to organs. Visceral fat is the internal threat. It sits beneath the muscle, aggressively wrapping around the liver and intestines. This fat is biologically active, functioning like a toxic organ that pumps inflammatory chemicals directly into your bloodstream 24 hours a day. A hard, protruding belly indicates a high volume of this internal fat, which scientists link directly to type 2 diabetes and chronic organ failure. Growing this internal fat has very little to do with eating dietary fat. The real driver is a hormone called insulin, which the body releases in response to carbohydrates and sugar. In a healthy system, carbohydrates break down into glucose. Insulin acts as the chemical signal that tells your cells to open up and absorb this energy from the blood. Modern eating habits disrupt this balance. Between breakfast, mid-morning snacks, a large lunch, afternoon tea, and dinner, the body is forced to process a constant flood of glucose. After months of constant feeding, overloaded cells stop responding to the insulin signal, leaving glucose stranded in the blood. To clear this dangerous excess sugar, the body converts it into fat, storing it directly around the liver and abdominal organs. This creates a biological standstill. As long as insulin levels remain elevated in your blood, the body is hormonally blocked from burning its stored fat. A second hormone, cortisol, accelerates this storage process. Cortisol is the body's stress response. Heavy traffic, tight deadlines, and everyday anxieties keep the nervous system in a state of constant high alert. High cortisol levels trick the body into a survival state. It begins aggressively hoarding energy in the abdominal area to prepare for a perceived physical threat. Until you lower these insulin and cortisol levels, even intense cardio or hundreds of sit-ups will produce almost no visible results on the waistline. To reverse the cycle, you must give the insulin system a window to rest. This is the logic behind intermittent fasting. By eating within an 8-hour window and fasting for 16 hours, for example, by finishing dinner at 8 p.m. and waiting until noon for your first meal, you allow hormone levels to stabilize. This graph illustrates the shift. As the insulin line drops to its lowest baseline state, the body searches for an alternative energy source and finally begins to consume the stored visceral fat. This strategy switches your primary fuel source from the food you just ate to the fat stored around your organs. You also need to adjust the structure of your meals. A massive mound of white rice with minimal side dishes triggers a massive insulin response. Instead, fill half of your plate with vegetables. The high fiber content acts as a physical barrier in the intestines, which slows down the speed at which sugar enters your bloodstream. Dedicate 25% to protein, like eggs, meat, or dal, and leave only the final quarter for complex carbs like red rice. This specific balance keeps your blood sugar stable and avoids the insulin spikes that create fat. Controlling the speed of digestion through this plate structure prevents the hormonal panic that leads to abdominal storage. The third step is managing cortisol through 7 to 8 hours of deep sleep. Turning off screens an hour before bed protects your melatonin production, which is vital for hormonal repair. Simple, low-stress movement throughout the day, like walking, gardening, or taking the stairs, helps burn energy without triggering a stress response. Shedding this fat protects your liver, your heart, and your long-term health. Try making one change tomorrow, like delaying your first meal by 2 hours. Comment below with the diet method that frustrated you the most in the past, and subscribe for more science-based health strategies.